our very life today. If I don't get some shelter, oh yeah, I'm gonna fade away. Whoa, children, it's just a shot away. It's just a shot away. Whoa, children, it's just a shot away. It's just a shot away. It's just a shot away. Oh, children. It's just a shot away. It's just a shot away. It's just a shot away.
Yeah, so, as we still waiting for people to trickle in, I told you I was going to be back. I said, let me put out these videos first before I do this live stream. And then when I was doing the videos, or like in between, I saw that this press conference came on today. And I already had to do a Horn versus Crawford video anyway. And I also had to do a video on talking about the ESPN Plus app. And I figured, well, hell, listen, 2 birds, 1 stone. I'm T Street Controversy. This is T Street Controversy Live. Please subscribe. We still got a little bit more time left. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play one nice little soothing track. Something, something a little, like relaxing. Or not violent. Or some shit like that. Let me put some soft shit on. Pause. So please subscribe. I'm T Street Controversy. This is T Street Controversy Live.
You in the worst mood. I any pain. I don't really listen. I'm in the blue moon, sun popping new edition. So I'm teeny the centerpiece. 20 racks of table cut from ebony. The flower in the skinny faces. She clean it with her face, man, I love my baby. Talking money to the hearing aid. You talking about me, I don't see the shade. Switch up my style, I take any lane. I switch up my cup, I kill any pain. Looking lavish, Star Trek groove in the Wraith the Con. Girls get loose when they hear the song. 100 on the dash, get me close to God. We don't pray for love, we just pray for cause. I saw him teeny the centerpiece. 20 racks a table cut from ebony. Cut that over in the skinny pieces. She clean it with her face, man, I love my baby. You talking money, need a hearing aid. You talking about me, I don't see the shade. Switch up my style, I take any lane. I switch up my cup, I kill any pain.
Man, don't you know? I thought this press conference was today. And I know better. I know press conferences ain't on Mondays. I just changed the title. But in the meantime, we could talk. We could talk about the fight. We could talk about all this crazy shit that's been going on. In fact, we can start. I'm thinking about changing the whole title of this video altogether, because if we start right here with this.
How many viewers do we have? Wait, some viewers. We gotta wait till we're building up this time of day for some good viewers. We got 300 nearly already. We're waiting for this broadcast. Right, just want to put a few things out there, people, yeah? Obviously, the business end of the boxing world, this is aimed at you, Martin Murray. Mate, I see you put on that I'm a shithouse and this and that you put on your Instagram. Who the fuck has got to be a shithouse from you? What you are is a bum. You are a tick-over fight for me. You was a tick-over fight. You were never dangerous. You were played eat the jab. You would have got beat comfortable. But I understand that you're frustrated because you wanted your paycheck before you give up and retire because you've got family. But there's one thing here, Martin Murray. If I'm a shithouse, I'll be in Manchester on Saturday. Walk to my face and say that. Walk to my face and say that to my face, and I will lay you cold up the floor. That's what will happen to you. So, for shithouse reasons, and you brung the David A tweet up. Yes, I did tweet David A's a shitbag when he was supposed to fight Tyson Fury. I did tweet that because Tyson Fury spent about 90 grand on 2 training camps and the fight didn't happen. So there's a difference between shithouse David A and a big difference between me. Yeah? I'm a man that will fight anybody. I'm a man who don't give a fuck where they're from, who they're from. I will fight any man born from his mother's cunt. Let's talk about business. The reason why you are where you are, and I'm where I'm at, because I'm a clever businessman when it comes to stuff like this. You are nothing but a bum who takes chances and desperate needs. I've got no need to do that. I have plenty of money. I've invested, I've done very sensible things, so I don't need to take silly risks for money. I don't need to do that. I'm at the business scale of the stuff now. So just to get back to you that I shit from you, who are you to say that I shit from you? Who are you, mate? Martin Murray, been beat 10 times. You're a nobody, mate. You're an absolute nobody. Sorry to get you off your high horse because you got announced to be fighting for a world title, and that you're not doing it now because of the reason the big Jippo here, you know, he's got injured and he's not going to take no silly risks. So stick to your track and I will stick to my track. There's a difference between I'm undefeated, not been beaten, because I've been sensible. And you don't take chances at the business end. Millions and millions of pounds at stake, you don't do that. So I'm sure if the shoe was on the other foot, you would have been the same. But just to get one thing clear, that it's most definitely not because I'm scared of you, Martin Murray. Because like I said, if I'm scared of you, Martin Murray, I will be Tyson Fury's fight Saturday. Come to my face and say it to my face, and you will see what will happen to you. That's all I'm going to say. So everybody have a peaceful week. Plenty of minge, plenty of focus. Stay on top of things. Peace out. Amen. Amen.
That was earlier this morning. So I had to do a little maintenance. If you refresh, I changed the title. I changed some parts of the description. And so let me explain to you what happened. In his first fight of 2018, it was supposed to take place in April. WBO 160-pound champion Billy Joe Saunders was supposed to hold on, let me restart. Let me do this first. And we're going to watch it again once more people trickle in to kill a little bit more time. But for those who don't know, WBO 160-pound champion Billy Joe Saunders was supposed to defend his belt against Martin Murray. You may know Martin Murray from fighting Sergio Martinez way back when in Argentina when he got robbed. You may know him fighting Golovkin, and at that point in time, he was the longest to go with Golovkin by like, 9 rounds or something like that. It was over in Monte Carlo on HBO, and at that point in time, Martin Murray was the WBC silver champion, future mandatory for Cotto. So it was a very legit and meaningful fight at that time. Now, Billy Joe Saunders was supposed to fight Martin Murray in April. The fight got postponed. Then he was supposed to fight Martin Murray June the 23rd. Right now it's June the 4th, 2018, 3:41 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So in a couple of weeks, he was supposed to fight Martin Murray. He pulled out. Martin Murray goes on to Instagram and basically like, yo, like you ain't really injured. You just trying to get that Golovkin fight. We ain't stupid over here in our camp. So that Golovkin or Canelo fight. So he's clearly pissed. Here, you can go watch it.
Morning. Just think it's better you heard it from me rather than you heard another bullshit story. But the fight's off with Billy Joe Saunders. He shits out again. First time was his arm, now it's his hamstring. We know that he's just trying to make a big money fight with Golovkin or Canelo. And I'm too risky to fight. He just don't want to fight me. But there's nothing I can do. You know, it's the second time I took myself away from my family. Got my body in this condition, ready to fight, and gets all last minute. It's cancelled. So obviously gutted, but nothing I can do. Just want to apologise to everybody who's bought tickets, booked hotels, booked train fares, and just say thank you to everybody for the continued support and believing in me. The management team's working on an alternative, so hopefully I'll have a new date in the next couple of weeks. But like I said, thanks to everyone for the continued support.
So he did this yesterday. He got news yesterday, Sunday, June the 3rd, that Billy Joe Saunders was going to be pulling out of the fight. So he did this video. We had no response from Billy Joe Saunders outside of a former response letting his fans and media know that he wouldn't be fighting on June the 23rd. Then Martin Murray went on Twitter and started, talking some more shit. Not in a bad way, but it was like, yo, listen, I'm really fucking fucked up. I've been in training camp this long ass time. I was planning on getting this title shot, probably the last one I was going to ever get in life. And you go and do this shit. And then he posted how here, in fact, let's go to, where is it at? I'll show it to you what he posted. He posted this, and this right here seemed to have ruffled the feathers and got the piss to a boil in Billy Joe Saunders. He posted this, as you can see, November the 17th of 2013. So people, you all think it's right for others to work 9 to 5, save and lay. I'm going to just translate this shit for you because sometimes his shit be fucked up. So basically, he was getting on David Haye for pulling out of the Tyson Fury fight multiple times. And Tyson Fury had you know, somewhere around like a $90,000 training camp. So he was like being pissed off and basically taken up, you know, for Tyson Fury years back. So Mark Murray goes and posts this today and like, yo, motherfucker, you posting this shit, you do the same shit to me. So I'm thinking this. Sometime in the next 3 weeks, I'm expecting for Canelo versus Billy Joe Saunders to be announced, and nobody's going to care about what happened to poor Martin Murray or in this situation. People are saying Golovkin, yeah, you know, there's that mystique there of those other 3 titles and the winner of that fight being an undisputed champion. But let's face it, the Canelo fight is a bigger fight. And Golden Boy is like out in the open said that, you know, they were in talks with Billy Joe Saunders and his team, even though Billy Joe Saunders went on social media saying it was bullshit. But come on now, all of a sudden you pull out. I'm thinking Frank Warren hit him up. Old Fish Eyes hit him up, called him up and said, yo, mate, I just got off the phone with Oscar De La Hoya or Eric Gomez or what's his name? Ricardo Diaz. I forgot his name. Is that his name? And said, listen, we can get that Canelo fight. Let's get rid of this Martin Murray shit and go fight Canelo. That's what I'm thinking. Abel Sanchez on Michelle Joy Phelps' channel just said recently, this was like, if the video came out yesterday, I guess she did it probably on Saturday or Friday, maybe Saturday. And the way Abel Sanchez is talking is like, yo, that shit is just on some, it can't happen. It's not possible right now. It's too many complications. And if you were Billy Joe Saunders, what fight would you take? He clearly thinks he can beat Canelo. He clearly thinks he can outbox, and maybe he can. Who knows? You know? Now, is it fucked up if it's true that he really not injured? And you know what I like? I like they slang over there, like they shit talking. What is the shit house? So, you know, Martin Murray, this is how it starts. Billy Joe shit house. It says it right. You can't see it. It says it right down here. Like, what is that shit house? So then Billy Joe, well, let's go watch it this one last time for the people who just got here. For you, let me see. For those who just got here. I'm doing.
How many viewers do we have? Wait, some viewers. We gotta wait till we're building up this time of day for some good viewers. We got 300 nearly already. We're waiting for this broadcast. Right, just want to put a few things out there, people, yeah? Obviously, the business end of the boxing world, this is aimed at you, Martin Murray. Mate, I'll see you put on that I'm a shithouse and this and that you put on your Instagram. Who the fuck has got to be a shithouse from you? What you are is a bum. You are a tick-over fight for me. You was a tick-over fight. You were never dangerous. You were played eat the jab. You'd have got beat comfortable. But I understand that you're frustrated because you wanted your paycheck before you give up and retire because you got family. But there's one thing here, Martin Murray. If I'm a shithouse, I'll be in Manchester on Saturday. Walk to my face and say that. Walk to my face and say that to my face, and I will lay you cold up the floor. That's what will happen to you. So, for shithouse reasons, and you brung the David A tweet up. Yes, I did tweet David A's a shitbag when he was supposed to fight Tyson Fury. I did tweet that because Tyson Fury spent about 90 grand on 2 training camps and the fight didn't happen. So, there's a difference between shithouse David A and a big difference between me. Yeah? I'm a man that will fight anybody. I'm a man who don't give a fuck where they're from, who they're from. I will fight any man born from his mother's cunt. Let's talk about business. The reason why you are where you are, and I'm where I'm at, because I'm a clever businessman when it comes to stuff like this. You are nothing but a bum who takes chances and desperate needs. I've got no need to do that. I have plenty of money. I've invested, I've done very sensible things, so I don't need to take silly risks for money. I don't need to do that. I'm at the business scale of the stuff now. So just to get back to you that I shit from you, who are you to say that I shit from you? Who are you, mate? Martin Murray, been beat 10 times. You're a nobody, mate. You're an absolute nobody. Sorry to get you off your high horse because you got announced to be fighting for a world title, and that you're not doing it now because of the reason the big Jippo here, you know, he's got injured and he's not going to take no silly risks. So stick to your track and I will stick to my track. There's a difference between I'm undefeated and not been beaten because I've been sensible. And you don't take chances at the business end. Millions and millions of pounds at stake, you don't do that. So I'm sure if the shoe was on the other foot, you would have been the same. But just to get one thing clear, that it's most definitely not because I'm scared of you, Martin Murray. Because like I said, if I'm scared of you, Martin Murray, I will be Tyson Fury's fight Saturday. Come to my face and say it to my face,
now,
and you will see what will happen to you.
Now, come on, we're not gonna. Now, a part of me wants to get all CSI with this and start analyzing what he's saying when he's talking about it's the business and Martin Murray. You should know these. If you was the A side, you would do this same shit. And it was crazy. So I'm getting up. I'm finishing. My little stretches and shit, getting my legs right. Eating my little fruit salad, grazing. My little nuts and berries and shit. And I'm listening. I'm like, oh, shit, Billy Joe Saunders on Instagram. So I got my little Bluetooth in and I'm walking around and shit. And I'm hearing this. Listen to this crazy shit. But also listen to the deeper meaning of what he's saying while I get the chat up here on the screen, by the way. So we're going to go back to right here. And this is basically what we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about Canelo versus Saunders. Canelo versus Murray being canceled. We're going to throw in, obviously, some Crawford versus Horn. Santa Cruz versus Maris 2. Charlo versus Trout. Wilder versus Joshua. And just get those topics out of the way. So I'm back to doing good again. I got a little bit of a gimp leg, that we're working on in physical therapy. It just drags me hard a little bit. But things are doing really, really good. So for 5 days a week, we're going to be pumping out 4+ videos, maybe more. You know how it gets sometimes. Who knows? One week do 20 videos, next week do 70. Never know. But at this phase, I guess this is reborn T Street Controversy 2.0 or something like that. We're getting to a system of doing things. We're grown now, and I've been really enjoying this time off. So let's go back and let me finish what I was doing before I get distracted. So he's just going to start slaughtering Martin Murray, but we want to listen to the deep political shit he's talking. It seems about how, listen, Martin Murray, if you was in my situation, you would do it too.
Martin Murray, if I'm a shithouse, I'll be a shithouse from you. You, Martin Murray.
So this all started because I guess you can see he's in his will. He's driving somewhere over in the UK somewhere, and he's on social media and he see Martin Murray talking shit. So he decides to pull over, turn down his country music, whatever he was listening to, and he just starts letting Martin Murray have it. And it's like you gotta feel bad for Martin Murray, but he just started letting Martin Murray have it. So listen to this while I fix the chat.
Mate, I see you put on that I'm a shithouse and this and that you put on your Instagram. Who the fuck has got to be a shithouse from you? What you are is a bum. You are a tick-over fight for me. You was a tick-over fight. You were never dangerous. You were played eat the jab. You would have got beat comfortable. But I understand that you're frustrated because you wanted your paycheck before you give up and retire because you got family. But there's one thing here, Martin Murray. If I'm a shithouse, I'll be in Manchester on Saturday. Walk to my face and say that. Walk to my face and say that to my face, and I will lay you cold up the floor. That's what will happen to you. So, for shithouse reasons, and you bring the David A tweet up. Yes, I did tweet David A's a shitbag when he was supposed to fight Tyson Fury. I did tweet that because Tyson Fury spent about 90 grand on 2 training camps and the fight didn't happen. So, there's a difference between shithouse David A and a big difference between me. Yeah? I'm a man that will fight anybody. I'm a man who don't give a fuck where they're from, who they're from. I will fight any man born from his mother's cunt. Let's talk about business. The reason why you are where you are, and I'm where I'm at, because I'm a clever businessman when it comes to stuff like this. You are nothing but a bum who takes chances and desperate needs. I've got no need to do that. I have plenty of money. I've invested, I've done very sensible things, so I don't need to take silly risks for money. I don't need to do that. I'm at the business scale of the stuff now. So just to get back to you that I shit from you, who are you to say that I shit from you? Who are you, mate? Martin Murray, been beat 10 times. You're a nobody, mate. You're an absolute nobody. Sorry to get you off your high horse because you got announced to be fighting for a world title, and that you're not doing it now because of the reason the big Jippo here, you know, he's got injured and he's not going to take no silly risks. So stick to your track and I will stick to my track. There's a difference between I'm undefeated and not been beaten because I've been sensible. And you don't take chances at the business end. Millions and millions of pounds at stake, you don't do that. So I'm sure if the shoe was on the other foot, you would have been the same. But just to get one thing clear, that it's most definitely not because I'm scared of you, Martin Murray. Because like I said, if I'm scared of you, Martin Murray, I will be Tyson Fury's fight Saturday. Come to my face and say it to my face, and you will see what will happen to you. That's all I'm going to say. So everybody have a peaceful week. Plenty of minge, plenty of focus. Stay on top of things.
Minge means vagina.
Peace out. Plenty of minge, plenty of focus. Stay on top of things. Peace out. Amen. Amen.
But yeah, it got ugly. It got ugly. So, you know, the question is, and it's a logical question. Do you think that Golden Boy just going so public on social media and interviews and retweeting shit saying that Canelo Golovkin is dead, do you think there's some type of political mumbo jumbo corporate fat cat bullshit where it's like, that's it, it's over, you know, we moving on, you know, in an attempt to get Golovkin to say, all right, we'll take that 35%. So the argument is Canelo's Golovkin's team feels that they should get a better split since the rematch didn't go right the first time around. Canelo and Golovkin was supposed to fight in May. It didn't happen. Whose fault is that? I'll leave that up to you guys for debate. Whose fault is that? So Golovkin's team is like, yo, we should get some more money. Golovkin like, yo, we need some more money. We were supposed to make this money. We were supposed to make 35% in May. The fight didn't happen in May. We had to fight Venice Martirossi, and you cost us some time and some shit because we ain't planning on fighting you again in September. We had other plans for September. You got to give us some more bread. So they like 50-50. I was doing something. They like 50-50. And Canelo and Golden Boy, they just acting just in disgust. They're like, oh, my God, who do you think you are? I think that Golovkin deserves a little more money. I think he deserves a little bit more money. Is that a crime? Is that a crime? How much more money is up for debate? I'm not these guys accounting and shit like that, but I'm thinking I'm thinking 60-40 is fair. Give him a little more to wet his beak. Like, they making this shit like I want to see this rematch. They making this shit like it's, you know, give him a little bit more money. You have Hassan Ishmael saying GGG only deserve 20%. Y'all crazy. GGG and Abel talk crazy shit about Golden Boy Canelo. Now, yeah, that shit was ugly. I was sick at the time, you know, on the mend, and I'm reading this shit. I'm like, ooh. You know, like, it was like he's a cheater, and you know, the let me go find it for you. I'm gonna find it for you. The contaminated meat, like, hidden message in the advertisement. You know what I'm talking about? where Abel Sanchez was eating a steak at the end. I feel like this. In my personal opinion, every fighter in Mexico should know not to eat the meat. In boxing, it is like known that fighters have been failing drug tests for years for eating meat that contained a banned substance, a performance-enhancing drug. So it just looked like me that any fighter can go down to Mexico and say and fail a drug test and say, shit, damn. Well, y'all know that meat was tainted down there, so I wasn't juicing. But, you know, he signed up for VADA. You know, he is the future of the sport. He's considered, him and Anthony Joshua right now, where they are bringing in money for the sport, they're considered the future, the pillars of the sport. You know, so for a guy like that to sign up for 24/7, it means a lot. You got to give Canelo his credit. Because that shit was looking bad. It still looks bad. It's like, yeah, you know, you have been getting, you know, where that power been coming from, Canelo. People were asking questions. And, you know, in this social media age, people just be saying anything. You got people say, look, his motherfucking shoulder blades didn't stick out that much. He wheezing the juice. He on steroids. Right? Right? Let's go find that. What I was talking about. Is it this one? When Abel Sanchez was eating the steak. Is it this one?
Ahora mirar al campeón.
Oh, no, that's when he about to beat up Venice Martirosyan. Which one is it? It's not that one. But, yeah, you know, what we're trying to show is that he was taking some shots. Gennady embodies winning the right way. You know, these are some major shots right here. So Canelo fails a drug test for bad meat. Then, you know, there's an investigation. He's suspended, then unsuspended because they find out that his hair follicles are clean. But in the meantime, Golovkin goes and does this.
From the beginning, Triple G has not wavered in the effort that he gives in the gym.
Everybody on the team feeds off of his energy, his commitment, his dedication, his sacrifice.
I think he had two great parents that taught him character and hard work. First time that I caught him, I knew that my instincts were right. He's got something that very few fighters have.
Gennady's the leader. He's the team leader. From his training to his personality outside the ring, Gennady embodies winning the right way.
From the beginning, Triple.
Oh, that's not it. That wasn't a one, right? I guess I didn't get to prove my point. But, like I was saying, I'm still not convinced that the fight is officially dead. I'm still not convinced. But we are officially in June now, and basically, what, next week sometime we'll be in the middle of June. This month is flying. It's the 4th. So 10 days, we'll be in the 15th of June. Might as well say July is going to be here in no time, right? Right? I look at it like this. Canelo versus Saunders, HBO pay-per-view. In this day and age, man, it's getting rough for pay-per-view, man. It's getting rough for pay-per-view. They can't do it on regular HBO. Canelo commands too much money. You know, Billy Joe Saunders, he's going to want a lot of money because if it's not on HBO pay-per-view, then I feel that Saunders will make more money fighting Golovkin because at least Golovkin will come over to the UK. I think that at this point in time, if Canelo was to fight Saunders, Saunders is going to have to come over here. I don't think that Canelo's going to go over there. Hey, listen, I'm just looking at you can't discount the fact that he has 3 belts. He has 3 titles. And he's got mandatories coming up. So Golden Boy is using that as leverage because they know that, listen, if you don't fight Canelo, then you got to fight Derevchenko. Then you got to fight Jamal Charlo. Then you got to fight Murata. He's got 3 mandatories. You know, so, and they knocking. So if he was to fight Canelo, there'll be enough money to give Derevchenko a nice, a step aside package or something to say, all right, listen, you take this little money and you fight on the undercard or something like that to get you some more exposure, and then Golovkin, if he wins or the winner fights you next, I just think they want to keep milking Canelo. I think that they want to keep milking Canelo. Is that a crime? Maybe they feel like, well, shit, now you've been off for over a year now, or by the time you get back into the ring, it'll be a year, and, with all this different shit going on with the changes with your body, because he's looking a lot thinner now. He's taking better care of himself. So, depends on how you look at it. But what if Canelo Golovkin 2 does get made, and if Billy Joe Saunders did pull some shit, and he didn't really pull he didn't pull a hammy, then where does that leave him? Another year with another fight, with just one fight, or not enough momentum. For example, he had great momentum after he beat David Lemieux. But if he goes on to not fight somebody of note next, and let's remember, he can't fight Danny Jacobs because the promotional thing. Maybe a Jamal Charlo, that'll like make the fans happy, hardcore fans. Like, this was a good fight, man, and it ended the year strong. It showed that boxing wasn't, like dying, and people thought that it was going to be a shit show, that Billy Joe Saunders was going to get his head knocked off. He didn't. Yeah, let's watch a little. I mean, I forgot the rounds, so I can't go back to individual highlights, even though I have it on my DVR.
God bless you both. Touch love.
And still WBO middleweight champion of the world, Joe.
Come on. Now, I remember. Now, I knew it was going to get outrageous. I've been covering all these fights for years. I knew it was going to get outrageous. Remember, it was people were saying like, yo, who's that? He's the 160-pound Mayweather. Y'all was hyped to see him beat David Lemieux the way he did. And it was a good fight. It wasn't like he just was schooling David Lemieux and it was boring. It was like, oh shit. And he said he went over to Canada to fight David Lemieux, even though he was the champion, because he knew that it would have had to happen in 2018. And that would have left him with only the Willie Monroe fight in 2017. So he wanted to get another fight under his belt. In other words, he fought Willie Monroe in September and David Lemieux in December. So there was some nice momentum. And then for this, to happen with Martin Murray and not knowing who he's going to fight next, it's kind of whack. But in other news, I forgot where I read it at. Here, this is something recent. It looks like Wilder versus Joshua is close. Well, Joshua Wilder is close in the UK. There was an interview on. Oh, I can just go right here. I can just go right here. It's an interview on Sky Sports. Hold on, I'm going to get it for you. I'm going to get it for you. About the possibilities that 1 minute. There we go. So let's go check this out real quick. AJ Wilder update. Eddie Hearn, Barry Hearn reveal latest developments on talks for Anthony Joshua versus Deontay Wilder fight. Now, I'm not going to read in rainbow. This ain't, I'm not going to read all this. And unfortunately, until I learn how to do this VPN stuff, I don't think we can watch this. Well, anyway, basically, the article is talking about how they should have word this week if the fight is going to happen, that they want the fight, that Barry Hearn has been talking to, where's he at? Shelly Finkel, who is the co-manager. There's the people who are of importance when it comes to making this fight on Deontay Wilder's team are a guy by the name of Shelly Finkel. He's close friends with Al Heyman. Somewhere there's rumor circulation he was Al Heyman's way into boxing. He's responsible for the Al Heyman Adrian Broner connection. There's even an interview about that. But when it comes to Deontay Wilder, there's Shelly Finkel. There is Lou DiBella. Like, he's involved when it comes to this. Like, he has stake in it. Even though, people look at him as being like some type of shell, whatever promoter for Al Heyman, he has some. Why is the chat not keeping up? I don't know why this is not keeping up. Here, let me refresh. And of course, there's Al Heyman, and then Deontay Wilder has some say because he is the fighter. So, my understanding is Anthony Joshua wants to fight. Does his team want to fight? It just seems like it just seems from all the news and all the trinkets of information and everything we've been getting, it seems as though they're the ones trying to deter the fight in some type of way. It just seems that way. Now, will Wilder go over to the UK? He has no choice. He's not the A side. He's got no choice. If they say, listen, it's got to be in the UK, that's it. Wilder's got to go. Even though it was from purse bid, Wilder went over to Russia. He was in Russia, or basically he was almost on his way to Russia. He was in the UK or something before he went up there to fight Povetkin. So the question is now, how does this happen with this new? I hear it's called The Zone. DA. Let's see. It's called The Zone. This is this new Eddie Hearn venture where we're supposed to get 16 American cards here in the United States for a subscription service and 16 Sky Sports cards. And basically, Anthony Joshua is involved in this app in some type of way, shape, or form. I mean, you have to think he would be. He is Matchroom's #1 fighter, right? But we don't know if, especially, okay, this app is supposed to launch, or this program is supposed to launch in September. You may have heard how they've offered Adrian Broner money somewhere around $7 million for a year, 3 fights, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. They really have no presence over here. I understand that streaming is a thing of the future. I understand that apps are the thing of the future, you know, the whole cut the cord revolution and everything. But it's still too new. You know, you have fighters who are skeptical to sign up. They have money, even though if it's not the $1 billion they're saying it is. Word is, it is. That money is there, but Eddie Hearn has got to show in 2 years that this thing could sell. So you can't tell me that when Eddie Hearn met with these guys that they didn't talk about, okay, well, listen, we'll deliver you Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua's going to fight on this app shit. Not saying that it's shit. Just, you know. So Anthony Joshua doesn't have a Showtime contract. They've been trying to get him a long-term extension for the longest. Of course, they were flirting with HBO. We've heard about that because HBO did bid on 2 of Anthony Joshua's fights. It was Klitschko and the one after that. Yeah, we back in business. What up, Lou? We're back in business. 4 videos a day. That's the quota. 5 days a week. Who knows? That might be it's gonna be more than that. I'm sure I'm gonna be putting out more videos than that. I was tired of laying around, man. Listen, I was tired of laying around. Like eating my fruits, my vegetables, grazing. Always got peanuts and shit around. Should be lit. I got these. These are pretty good. Some veggie crisp. Sea salt. We getting back though. Yeah, we staying healthy. Fuck that getting sick shit. That shit was the worst. That was a major setback, but we good now. So they're saying that the fight is close to being done. You know, they may have a deal worked out. Because if it doesn't happen, then when let me look at this. Let me see. Truth be told, I want to see this again. I want to see this again.
Wilder wary here in round 1. A good counter left hand by Ortiz. Good start for the challenger in Brooklyn tonight. There's a counter right hand by Ortiz. Deontay Wilder, 15 seconds left in the fight. And there's the right hand. Ortiz is down for the second time in his career. Oh, straight left hand. Wilder gets clipped. Ortiz unloading on Deontay Wilder in the 7th. And Wilder, he's staying out. He's staggered. Right cross. Clubbing left hand by Wilder. Down goes Ortiz. Kept ticking away, but there it is. A minute left. Right uppercut, and it's over.
And still,
I was
undefeated WBC heavyweight champion of the world.
I was in the hospital on my Showtime Anytime app watching this. I was on my Showtime Anytime app watching this. And I was like, yo, like, you know, you ever watch something so exciting, I guess, that, or something happens, like your adrenaline rushing where you like wasn't feeling no, like you don't feel no pain. Like I was in a lot of pain in that motherfucking hospital. But watching this, I'm like, yo, this shit is, it was a lot of, what's it called? Tense moments where you were like, oh shit, Wilder's gonna lose his belt. Luis Ortiz brought his tricks. But see, what you've noticed in these Wilder fights, even if you think AJ's the better boxer or AJ beats him, once Wilder start doing that wild, crazy shit, once he start doing that shit, you can't. That shit start hitting you out of anywhere. That shit start hitting you out of anywhere. You're going down. You're going down. Joshua has options. He's got that Dylan White rematch. If Dylan White beats either Pulev or Luis Ortiz, who's going to fight, excuse me. You got Pulev out there for him. You got that Povetkin fight, because if he doesn't fight Wilder, he's definitely fighting Povetkin. That's already written in stone, pretty much. Wilder does have some options, though, because if Wilder pressures Tyson Fury enough and pressures his team enough, they can go that route. Because with Tyson Fury being with Frank Warren and Frank Warren and Al Heyman and Showtime having like a little thing going on. If you notice, they've been broadcasting a lot of their fights over here in the States, especially on the YouTube page. I would be really interested to see if they would be picking up the Tyson Fury fight this weekend. So pay attention. It's not too late, because as it stands right now, we have no legal way to watch the Tyson Fury fight here in the United States. But pay attention. Let's see if Showtime picks it up. Because if they pick that up, then they're probably going to pick up the Terry Flanagan, Maurice Hooker fight. Yeah, Wilder has to fight Brazil. They got some beef, but it's not. See, here's the thing. The WBC is not going to force Wilder to fight Brazil. You know, and Al Heyman is not going to let it go that far to court. You know, unless he fights Anthony Joshua. So if he fights Anthony Joshua, you know, then obviously, you know, that'll be the prime scenario. Thought ESPN Plus would pick up the Fury fight. Yeah. You know, I was on the ESPN Plus page. I didn't see it. In fact, let's go see real quick if somebody's picking it up. So far, nope. So far, nowhere. No American. I mean, I'm going to watch the fight, but these are the type of situations that we want to avoid going forward in the future. And soon we're going to have to take an intermission anyway. Before we get to the second half of the video. But with all these different apps coming out, and with what ESPN Plus should be doing, is they should be doing a better job in picking up all of these fights. They have been doing good, though. They picked up Khan versus LaGreco and another fight. But in the return of one of the heavyweight tent poles in Tyson Fury, an American network should be picking it up. It's kind of disrespectful that they're not. Even though it is a comeback fight, but it is a heavily anticipated comeback fight. And, you know, Wilder versus Tyson Fury can happen, but for one, Tyson Fury's got to get ranked. And also, it's going to depend on if Tyson Fury is going to want to fight somebody like Deontay Wilder with just one fight back. But that would be a power move. That would be like some major breaking news type, super major breaking news, Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury. And then it's like, where would it happen at, you know? Oh, y'all arguing in the chat. But in the meantime, you know, one video, we got to sit down and talk about what's going on with Keith Thurman, man. I really think that he just doesn't want to fight anymore. I'm starting to wonder, like, if he just don't have, like, if he just don't have it anymore, you know? I mean, he's undefeated, but, you know, some are saying that Sean Porter got his soul. Relinquish his soul, Sean Porter. Relinquish his soul. And people like he's scared of you know, when you think, even though it's just been those two fights, he fought Sean Porter and he fought Danny Garcia back to back, and then he had to come back and fight him again, like both of them again back to back, and then Errol Spence after that. So when he put it this way, when he comes back, he's with the shit. He's in there. He's with the shit. You know, a guy like Keith Thurman at this point in time got a big ass target on his back. He can't just come back and not fight top competition. Of course, he was able to keep his WBA title. Of course, the WBC was on his back, though. More importantly, I like how Sean Porter held his ground. Sean Porter was like, I ain't fighting nobody. You know, I'm the mandatory for Keith Thurman. I'm fighting him. I ain't trying to hear that shit. Easily got himself out of that. Why you not fighting Sean Porter? I mean, why you not fighting Errol Spence then? Easily got himself out of that situation. It was a classy move on his part. Here, let's watch this. This was you know, I got a lot of classic shit, and I don't know why I keep playing like the old stuff over and over and over again. But we're going to take a little bit of an intermission. It's like a 6-minute intermission. But I gotta start. I gotta find like my I'll be back.
Listening to you, you've been talking about how you know, you have a left hook, Danny Garcia has a left hook, but this is the first fight where I've seen that in promotion you haven't.
Look at his crazy eyes. Now this was the day before the weigh-in, so you know they real hungry at this time. He's really hungry. He's really hungry. So I guess he didn't get it. All right, I'll be back. This is a little short intermission.
You haven't really come off as confident. You know, it's almost like you look at it as it's really a 50-50 fight. How do you view that?
I'm about to knock him out, man. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that.
So you're going for the knockout?
Do I not go for the knockout? That's what y'all understand. First off, it's one time, all the time, KOs for life. All right? The model doesn't change. The philosophy doesn't change. The only thing is when a fighter starts showing me that it's not easy to get what I want, then I'm going to get the other portion of what I want, which is overall victory of the night. Okay? Did we not buckle Sean Porter? Was he not hurt several times in the fight? Okay, but for some reason, I don't know if it had to do with the car accident, the layoff, yada, yada, yada. When we connected with the one, we couldn't follow up. We did not shut him down. We did not put him out, okay? I promised myself if Garcia buckles the way that Porter buckled, we have to close it out, you know? But, I mean, I'm just tired of the fucking shit talk, man. Fuck y'all, what y'all want me to talk about? Don't y'all want to see the fight? You know what I'm saying? I'm here to fight. Nothing matters except for the fight, you know? I mean, I can give you a prediction. The fight will end within 4 rounds. You know what I'm saying? I can do whatever. But then if it doesn't happen, then what? You know, Keith Thurman don't know what he's talking about. Danny was way more of a challenge than he's like. Tired of all y'all reporting and all this other stuff, man. I'm a world-class fighter. No matter what happens, win, lose, draw, Keith one-time Thurman was a world-class fighter. Every single time I step in the ring, I give you world-class fights, okay? And I'm going to continue to do that to the day I retire, all right? But the thing is, I just have a new confidence, man, and some of y'all know, some of y'all don't. I talk about it a little, I don't talk about it a lot, but I'm spiritual, all right? And I've hit a certain place in my life now that I'm 28 years old. I've marinated in this world of boxing for a long time now. Okay, and I'm marinated in the world, and I've grown as a man inside and outside of the ring, okay? I do this for me. I don't do this for you. I do it for me. You help me because without you, there is no sport of boxing. It would just be reckless fighting. It would not be a career. I am grateful of the career that I have. I'm grateful of the career that.
You can hear what he's talking about, though. He's clearly saying, like, I'm in a different place in life spiritually and shit. And this was the Danny Garcia fight. And we ain't seen him since. This was 2 days before the Danny Garcia fight, and we ain't seen him since. You know, and I do think, you know, like, I've, like, this, you know, the crazy thing and what I love about what I do now, and I really think I was underappreciating it a little bit, is I talk to Keith Thurman more than I've talked to any other world champion boxer. I'm talking about like maybe about an hour and a half of content. Some shit I didn't even upload. It's crazy. You know, so I got to be grateful for shit. A world champion.
Development for myself.
But you can clearly.
I strive for.
But listen, you can clearly hear, you know, that fire is not really where it was. And you can tell a little bit. And I wasn't trying to be no dick, and I wasn't trying to piss him off. You know, you could tell a little bit that he's not really, you know, like he don't care about losing. I don't know, you know. Just listen. I'll be back.
I don't do this for you. I do it for me. You help me because without you, there is no sport of boxing. It would just be reckless fighting. It would not be a career. I am grateful of the career that I have. I'm grateful of the career that I've developed for myself. I strive for greatness each and every single time that I step into the ring. I have an O. I'm not afraid to let it go. If you can beat me, beat me. My mama used to beat me, and my daddy used to beat me. Can you beat me?
I can beat him.
That's what I want to know. That's why I signed these contracts. I love the sport of boxing. This is a sport. I look forward to each and every fight. And now I finally hit a point in my career where I'm getting the fights that I want. They talk about Danny Garcia has a tremendous resume. A lot of people fought certain people that I never fought. Guess what? Those fighters didn't want to fight me. Floyd Mayweather never wanted to fight me. Do y'all forget that when his daddy wants to talk about I was a made champion, I was the interim title holder for Mayweather? They elevated Mayweather to elevate me, to put him in position to where he never had to talk about me. He didn't have to take Keith Thurman as a mandated opponent. No, he got to do whatever he wanted to do. He got to wear what we call the political crown. I'm not mad at him, man. I'm not mad at that scenario. It was a little frustrating having to deal with it, but that's what happens in the sport of boxing from time to time. And Mayweather has dominated the industry since he stepped on the scene. He was an Olympian, yada, yada, yada. He fought for that political position. So it's not like it was undeserving, okay? It just was frustrating for one person because Danny fought Paulie Malignaggi. Paulie Malignaggi never wanted to fight me.
This is the end of the interview. We're going to start the second half of the video. We got to do Crawford versus Horn. But he about to start getting real angry right here.
I wanted to fight him at one point. He got beat by AB. We never talked about it ever again. Why? Because I was interested in fighting champions. I've always been interested in fighting champions, okay? I mean, I wanted to fight Sean Porter when he held the IBF before he fought Kell Brook. Kenny Porter had an article statement saying, we don't need to fight Keith Thurman right now. We can fight him when he gets his world title, and then we can fight each other for a unification bout. He loses his title, I get my title, and then we fight for my title. Do I say he needs to go back and get a title? No. It's a fight that I always wanted. It was a fight that I was happy to make happen. Saturday night is the same scenario. Happens to be in the same venue. So, I mean, like I said, man, I do this for me. I do it for the love of the sport. I do this because this is what I've always wanted to do as a child. I am successful. A loss does not take away my success. I am not fearful of losing. I'm not fearful of getting knocked out. I hold no fear. For Jesus said, fear no man that wants to harm your flesh. I am a warrior. I've always been a warrior, and I'm willing to die in that ring. I tell my family, if I was to die in that ring, don't you shed a tear. You understand? Y'all don't fully get who Keith Thurman is. I'm somebody who loves to fight. But outside of the fight, this is a sport called boxing. Boxing also is an art. I told a person a long time ago, if you watch Floyd Mayweather, die in that ring, don't you losing? I'm not fearful of.
I'm gonna clip this out. And his ponytail is all jagged. He was hungry.
Getting knocked out. I hold no fear. For Jesus said, fear no man that wants to harm your flesh. I am a warrior. I've always been a warrior, and I'm willing to die in that ring. I tell my family, if I was to die in that ring, don't you shed a tear. You understand? Y'all don't fully get who Keith Thurman is. I'm somebody who loves to fight. But outside of the fight, this is a sport called boxing. Boxing also is an art. I told a person long.
He not the same dude no more. He not that same. I mean, he just not. You know, he just not that same dude no more. You know. I say he's got maybe a few 3 fights left in him. He's not the type of guy that spends a lot of money. He drives a Prius. No bullshit. So he eating right now. He doing real good in life. Got a beautiful wife, traveling the world. He was in Japan or something. You know? And it's like, it's nothing wrong with that. Maybe he's accomplished what he wants to accomplish. He's been a unified champion. He fought 2 straight monster fights. Wasn't they sellouts? Wasn't both of them sellouts? I know one of them damn sure sold out. The buzz around Thurman Garcia was big. I was supposed to be there. I got sick on fight day. I made next month's fight though, but it wasn't the same. It wasn't the same, you know? But, you know, there's some rumors circulating around that he's going to be back in August or something like that. I wonder who he's going to fight. He can fight anybody he want now. WBA don't care. Now that he don't got that WBC title. Fight whoever he want. Yeah, he was up. You know what? That's another video I got. This was my first time ever talking to him.
The WBA world champion. A question a lot of fans.
I didn't have a voice for like fucking 6 months. It's a long story. But yeah, that's me asking the question.
The WBA world champion. A question a lot of fans have been asking is, why haven't you gone to the WBA as far as Floyd is the WBA super warrior? Why haven't
because there's no because I already talked about it earlier. A super champion is not obligated to fight any mandatories. He has 0 mandatories. I cannot even if I wanted to go to the WBA, there is no power. He is above the power.
So, my voice was fucked up. Yo, I've been sick for a lot of years, man. Like, I'm really, like, this is the best outside of, you know, the whole recovery process. Like, this is the best I've felt in years. You know, I was destroying my body to get, you know, like where I'm at today. So, I guess, you know, like, to sidetrack a little bit, I guess it depends on how you look at it, because I accomplished the things that I said I was going to accomplish, you know, like when people said I would never, you know, get interviews or do things like that, you know. So now that I've reached this point, it's like I can just live and do this stuff and have fun doing it. It's not just like a chore like it was, you know, like I accomplished like a goal and I set out and I did that shit. But yeah, this was back. What was this? Danny Garcia versus Paulie Malignaggi. This was before the card started in the back, and I had Danny Jacobs versus Sergio Mora. It's the undercard.
With that super title. Okay. That super title puts him on.
So this is when he educated me on, you know, what the super title was. And then that's when after this, I went home and I started like binge researching all like the rules for all the sanctioning bodies. Because I was like, ain't no boxer going to come and think he going to be schooling me on some shit. When it comes to rules, I said, that's going to be my shit.
WBA. There is no power. He is above the power with that super title. Okay. That super title puts him on a special cloud above.
The irony of this situation is that he's in this situation with that WBA super title that he can hold on to it as long as he wants. You see what I'm saying?
where he's floating around getting fed, you know, grapes and strawberries and all the goodies, you know what I'm saying? He's in his little private chamber and nobody can touch him. I cannot go to the WA and demand, why don't you do this? You know, because I've been the #1 contender, and that is how I got the regular title in the first place. When Floyd was the regular champion, I was the mandatory. When they elevated him, they elevated me. And by doing that, I, the regular champion, I read it. The day I found out about it, I read all up on the internet about it. I, the regular champion, I have a mandatory. The funny thing is, my mandatory happens to be Andre Berto. That's my mandatory. And Floyd isn't fighting the regular champion, but now he wants to fight the regular champion's mandatory when it's Andre Berto, not when he was the champion and his mandatory was Keith One-Time Thurman. He took the higher way up and out of that situation. You know, he wants to pick. He likes having control. That's why I call him the king of the division. I call him the king of the division because of the power he holds on the world of boxing. If he didn't hold that much power, I would never call him a king based off of his skills. I would call him a great fighter, but I would never call him a king. But kings are like dictators. See, and he's been dictating the way his career is run for many years, which, you know, I mean, banks dictate how they operate. Fortune 500 companies dictate how they operate. So from a business standpoint, I'm not mad at him. But from an athlete and from a prize fighter standpoint and from what y'all should be getting used to knowing by now, from a pride fighter standpoint,
he was going on and on and on and on for like a long time. But we're going to stop right there. But one thing I like about him is he's always like, when you talk to him, he's always talkative, but he doesn't do enough media opportunities. Like, if you notice, when he's not fighting, you don't be seeing him nowhere. And he does pull in major ratings when he does fight. But after the fight, he'll disappear for long stretches of time, and he'll pop up at some Showtime events, do a little Showtime, you know, little sit down and everything, and then he'll just post something several months later, you know, or several weeks later in another country somewhere, which, like I said, there's nothing wrong with that. But I really doubt that we're going to see Keith Thurman versus Errol Spence ever. And now that he's dropped his title, this is a guy that years ago, he wouldn't be talking about dropping no title. It wouldn't even have been an issue. He would have been like, no, I'm fighting everybody that's coming along. He felt disrespected when Robert Guerrero wouldn't fight him. And then finally that PVC money made that fight happen. Oh, no, Berto, man. You know, Berto. Like, he was him, Chad Dawson. It was him, Chad Dawson, right? And who else? They were like phase one of Al Heyman's insertion in the boxing. Berto on HBO. He was doing the Adrian Broner when Adrian Broner was being built up on HBO before Broner was doing it. Jeff Lacey, no, it was somebody else. Andre Berto, Chad Dawson, and somebody else. Berto did not deserve the shot over Brook. What? Oh, I see what you're saying. You're talking about the Mayweather fight. Hey, listen, we're not going to talk about that. We're not going to get sidetracked. But to get to what I was talking about earlier with this, let me go sign in. Here, I'm going to give y'all a little bit of a hack because a lot of people are really pissed off that the Crawford versus Horn fight is not on ESPN. It's on the ESPN app. And on certain smart TVs, I have a Samsung smart TV, the app is not available in the store. You see what I'm saying? So, in other words, a lot of boxing fans who got used to getting high quality fights on ESPN like Pacquiao Horn, Crawford and Dongu, Lomachenko Rigo. Now they're saying, okay, pay $5 and watch on this app. Well, you got to have some other shit to be able to watch the fight. Now, I know that streaming is the future and all kind of stuff like that, but it's a little bit too much right now when you were given these type of fights on regular ESPN. Now, I know they had to cross over at some time, So, if you want to watch the fight and you don't want to really have to pay each month, you still got to have a card, but you got to sign up. It's a 7-day free trial, right? So you can watch Crawford versus Horn for free. You can watch Crawford versus Horn for free. Now, I'm already signed in. Let me make sure I'm already signed in. Now, what you're getting is you're getting the whole entire... Nope, I'm not signed in. What you're getting is you're getting the whole entire card. You're getting all the press events. Now, these are things that would normally be on the YouTube channels or on television, depending on the case. You got Crawford versus the press conference, which I thought was the day, which was stupid for me to think was today anyway. That's on here. You have they're going to have the weigh-in. The undercards are starting really, really early. Literally, they show all of the whole entire cards. Teddy Atlas has a new show. It's going to be with Terrence Crawford. I forgot when it's coming on. It's this week, but I did get some information on it. So they're investing in boxing, and you can see that they're putting money in the boxing with these programs, and the quality of the streams and everything like that. But you got a lot of lazy boxing fans and a lot of cheap boxing fans that are going to be like, man, we're not buying that, man. Not for why not regular ESPN? But I look at it like this. If they're going to do what we need here in the United States, like they have in other countries, to be able to watch these overseas fights that happen in the UK that are not on, other apps. But let's say that ESPN Plus gives us international fights. I'm talking about they're picking up fights in New Zealand's championship fights that mean something in the political landscape or the promotional landscape of future fights that can be big. If they're picking up these international fights, then it's well worth the $5 a month. Just like with the Eddie Hearn, app and their venture that they're going to do. For me, a media member, it's well worth the $20 a month that they're going to be asking me for, because I don't have to go searching around the internet for Sky Sports fights. When it's just like, okay, sign in, you paid for the month, it's done, So it's free this week, or it's free the first 7 days. You might as well use it now. A lot of people on fight night are going to be like, oh, shit, how am I going to watch the Crawford Horn fight? And I'm guessing with the buzz that's building up for this fight, because Jeff Horn has been feeling, which he should, is that Bob Arum, his co-promoter, he's Duco Events, and co-promoter, but Bob Arum has been really selling Terrence Crawford too much. And Jeff Horn's got a chip on his shoulders. Now, this is his official, even though he's fought above the 140-pound limit before, if I'm correct, at 142 or at 138 versus somebody above the 147-pound limit. Whatever the case may be, the point I'm trying to make is that Jeff Horn is a big dude. This guy is known for dropping fucking 15, 20 pounds during fight week. No bullshit. He's known to drop 15 to 20 pounds during fight week and then just put that shit on plus more overnight. So he's a bully type of fighter. He's the type of fighter that, like we see with Manny Pacquiao, like with the Gary Corcoran fight, where I was up early in the morning, 5:30 in the morning, 6:30, watching it live, like a live stream on ESPN from Australia. So I've noticed that he's a bully type of fighter. He'll be getting beat up, but then all of a sudden he get that second win, start coming after your ass. So Jeff Horn isn't a joke, and it's going to be interesting to see what type of fight Terrence Crawford is going to fight against him. Is Terrence Crawford going to fight the type of fight that he fought against against Victor Postol when he used a lot of movement? You know, or is he going to go in there and try to really, you know, like not bully, because, I mean, he can, but Jeff Horn is the bigger fighter. Is he going to go in there and try to, you know, put his foot down and say, I'm here, just 147-pound division, and stand there toe-to-toe with Jeff Horn? Now, we know that Jeff Horn's got some power. It's deceiving, but we also know that Terrence Crawford has been caught with some clean shots and has been rocked by a smaller fighter in Yorkis Gamboa. You know? Horn is still a mystery, but well, it depends on how you look at it. Because I've been able to watch a lot of Horn fights, actually. So it depends on how deep you go. He's a national treasure over there in the UK. Not in the UK, over in that oceanic area, New Zealand, Australia. It was something I was looking for. But yeah, you know, he's been he be laying hands. He be laying hands.
Welterweight champion of the world, Jeff the Hornet Horn. It's a nice uppercut by Horn. Loaded up the right hand, that one whistle over the head.
Why is he complaining about a gym being hot though? Gyms be hot as shit. And also, you got, like I said, this is a guy who's known for losing so much weight in fight week. Horn is tough as nails, and he is smart. They sleeping on him. I like Jeff Horn, you know, and I like that he's a teacher, just had a baby, got a regular average wife, seemed like a regular happy, like he seems like a happy guy. You know, you got to root for people like that, you know. But he do talk shit though. Remember, he told Floyd Mayweather to take that walking stick and get the fuck out the sport. Some shit. You know, then, you know, he was going at it with Teddy Atlas. So, you know, the Hornet, you know, what if, I don't know, you know, I mean, do you see an upset? What if Terrence Crawford gets stung? What if he gets stung? Pacquiao got stung. Pacquiao thought he was going to just come and just like get Jeff Horn out of there, have fucking 4-week training camps. You see this training camp, he just said, fuck it. You know, boo boy, you got me for the Matisse fight. No fucking chance Crawford ain't losing to this hype job. I don't know, man. Listen, you doubting the Hornet, man. You doubting the Hornet. You doubting the Hornet. He was fucked up after that Pacquiao fight, though. He was fucked up.
I'm very proud to be the Premier of this state that backed in a World Championship fight to be held here at Suncorp. Queensland pubs were full to the brim. Suncorp Stadium was packed, over 50,000 people, and you couldn't book a hotel room in Brisbane because everyone was here to see Jeff. There will be a ticker tape parade this Thursday through the council. I'm quite sure the Lord Mayor will have more to say about that later. But we want to see as many Queenslanders as possible, especially at school holidays. So we've got to come out and support Jeff, not just a great Queenslander, but a legend, a world champion. Today should be Jeff Horn Day, I reckon. Jeff Horn Day. And everyone should be so proud. A holiday? Why not? Let's have a holiday. Why not?
They giving Jeff Horn a holiday over there. Now, this was after the Pacquiao fight. Now, there was a frenzy over there in Queensland and Australia. There was a frenzy over there. They was like, oh, shit. Jeff Horn, this teacher who we thought was going to get fucked up, beat Pacquiao. They had a parade, and, you know, he's got all these sponsorships and shit. You know, Jeff Horn's got a country behind him. It will come down to styles. I mean, you smart money. Now, listen, I've said this before. Before I continue, let me put this disclaimer out there. I've said this before in the past. I don't gamble, so don't bet on my predictions. I've been known throughout the history of me doing videos on YouTube, and I've done it even though it's only 43 people here. I've done it in front of thousands before, where sometimes I go with my heart. And even though I know who should win, somehow I just be finding like storylines and trying to convince myself reasons why this fighter should win. So as I say, what I'm about to say is, you know, Jeff Horn already defied the odds. You know, he is the bigger fighter. The storyline is there. What if he does it? What if he beats Terence Crawford? They're going to make a movie about him over in Australia. Jeff Horn's going to be a legitimate superstar. He got guys like Errol Spence and Keith Thurman like, fuck that. You never know, man. You never know. Though I don't know. I'm not saying. Listen, smart money says Terence Crawford. I think that Terence Crawford is going to win, but you know, guys like Jeff. Look at his face. Pacquiao fucked him up. Because at one point in time, the fight was close to being stopped. But he went out there with that moxie.
Me and Glenn are the only one that have read that plan, and it's a plan that I've heard him speak to me about 1,000 times. So reading over, it's just like listening to him talk to me in the ring. So I think what he's written down is spot on, and I think we can get the job done if I can follow it 100%. Look, he's been telling me these 10-point.
He do got one of those just smack me faces though. He do got one of those, you know, those faces. I'm not gonna lie. Let me see if I can find. Let me see. Maybe this is on here. Maybe it is on here. He was having some trouble. Is this mine? It is mine.
In the early rounds, Gamboa's speed advantage was the story.
Gamboa is beating Crawford to the punch early on. Crawford's picked a hell of an obstacle in his first hometown fight. And Gamboa lands a left hook and a right hand.
Crawford switched to southpaw, but initially left himself open to Gamboa's right hand.
Crawford gets in a couple of counter shots to reverse the momentum just a little bit as the round comes to a close.
You got to start going to your right. All right, start going to your right so you can get away from his right hand. All right.
Hard left hand by Crawford. Nails Gamboa again. Another hard left hand by Crawford.
He's getting clipped with some good shots too. Terrific fight.
Hard counter shot by Terence Crawford. Down goes Gamboa. Tremendous right hand shot as Gamboa was coming in. Crawford hammers him again with another right hand.
In the early rounds, Gamboa's speed advantage.
A lot of people don't give him credit for that because obviously, still to this day, you know, they like, Gamboa was smaller, man. But that was a good fight, though. That was a good fight. And also, Gamboa was laying some hands on him. So, you know, do you think that Crawford's going to go out there and try to stand toe-to-toe with Jeff Horn? You know, to be like, well, listen, I'm here at 147 because if you really look at it, I think that Terence Crawford is on the smaller end of 147-pound fighters. Right? You got guys like, let's talk about the guys who are in the mix right now. A guy like Errol Spence can fight at 154 pounds, correct? Danny Garcia, you can't really see him at 154. A Sean Porter, because of his height, keeps him at 147. But if he was a little bit taller, he could fight at 154 pounds with his style. Terrence Crawford, his max is 147 pounds. Horn might be a smart-ass psychopath. So it all depends. And also, like, whatever fight he does fight against against Jeff Horn, if he wins, people are going to say, okay, yeah, he's here at 147 pounds now. Who's next? Now, the winner of this fight is going to be fighting Jose Benavidez if Jose Benavidez wins. Benavidez is going to be on the undercard. So you're going to be able to watch the whole undercard if you have the ESPN Plus app, which is going to be my whole night, my whole day. So the winner is likely going to be fighting Jose Benavidez, whether it's Terrence Crawford or whether it's Jeff Horn. So you really can't think about any unifications until mid to late 2019. And it may not seem long, but in boxing years or in boxing time, that's a long ass time. But I'm about to get out of here. I'm going to be talking about Charlo Trout actually later. I got to do a video on that. But it's actually 5 o'clock now. So I got to do my little stretches. Go run to the post office real quick. I missed it earlier. And, yeah, so later on this week, we're going to be watching the press conference for Crawford versus when is Thursday at 3:30. I got physical therapy. Damn. Maybe later, after the press conference is over, we'll watch the press conference. I want to do a thorough preview of the ESPN Plus app. Because like I said, I really have no choice but to get it. It's my job. I'm going to get that Eddie Hearn thing too. I can't really wait. I can't wait to see how that's going to work out, especially when it comes to international fights, like watching their fights over here. Tissue Controversy. This is Tissue Controversy Live. Please subscribe.